Hi, it's Keiko, and today I am going to show you how to make little honeybees. So first I'll cover the material and then I will do a close-up. Okay, so first you'll want to have a felting foam. It's just anything to keep your needle from breaking. You'll want to have a felting needle, which is barbed. I generally use a 38 gauge, maybe a triangular, usually the one that's the least expensive. You can get your free pattern at my website. This one is totally free. You can just download it. It's one page and it will give you kind of a guide and a weight. And yeah, so the total bee weight roughly is about 0.11 ounce or 3 grams. So it's very little bit. And you'll want some yellow for the body. I have, this is a wool bat that I dyed with Kool-Aid in my kitchen. I believe it was mango pineapple. It's the one without the sugar. It's a little packet with the color and the citric acid. There should be a video on how to quickly dye these in your kitchen with a microwave. Very quick and easy. You'll want a little bit of the white for the wings. And you can use roving or bat, whatever you have. And you'll want some black for the stripes and the face. And I'm going to be using a roving that I have, but if you have a bat, you can just thin it out, and a little pinch of pink. Okay, so I will do a close-up. Okay, so we're ready for the close-up. So the first thing we want to do is wrap the body into this outer dotted line and kind of, yeah, we'll just roll it up and then we're going to poke in towards this shape. Okay, so this is about 0.11 ounce or 3 grams, probably a little less because it's going to have the wings and stuff, and I just weighed the whole bee. So I am going to do this as tight as possible so that I don't have to poke as much. And it's always a little easier to make it smaller and then make it add to make it bigger. So I'm actually going to make it a little on the smaller side, and as always, the size doesn't matter exactly. You can just adjust as you go. So let me see, I'm going to do this. And then where it came together is where I'm going to poke. So I'm holding it very carefully, poking it straight in like this. And as you can see, that pretty much already holds it together. So from here, I'm going to just going to poke all around once to get it to stay together better, especially the ends. And sometimes if you don't roll it as tight, you know, you may need to poke even more, but that's totally okay. Okay, so actually I'm going to move this over so you can see this really well. Okay. And you can always change your YouTube setting to double speed. You can adjust the speed. So if you just want to get a quick view of how it's done really fast, you can do that. Okay, I do everything in real time because I don't have any sophisticated editing skills. It's probably not even sophisticated editing skills, but yes, this is all just going to be recorded and uploaded to the best of my ability. Okay, so I got this little sausage shape so far. It's about the right length, so I actually like it like this. But what I'm noticing is that I think it's going to be easier. So usually if I make it a little larger, I would be needle felting it in and tightening it. And so I'm going to do that with a neck, but I think I might need to add a little to the body. So every time it's a little different, just depending on how it comes together. So you just stay flexible and have fun. So I'm first going to do where the neck part is going to be. So where I poke, because the needle is barbed, it tangles the wool and tightens it like that, so you can sort of see. And this is a beginner video, so I'm going to try and explain as much as possible. So if you're experienced and you're just looking for a quick how it looks, just speed me up. Okay, so that looks actually really good. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten the end a little bit first and see how it looks, and I think I'm going to add a little. So let me see. Okay, so you can see on one side, this side, I just sort of angled it. So I'm going to do the same on the other side to give it more of a pointy bottom. Okay. Okay, you see that? And let me just show you. I'm gonna do it side by side. So again, you know, it's really up to you. You can do it however you want. I think I'm going to add a little to make this body bigger. So I'm going to just take a little bit so you can see super easy how to add. So I'm just going to go like this and make this body a little bit bigger here to give it more of that shape. So I just added, then I'm going to be poking, poking, poking. So that's the bottom of the bee. Oops. Okay, and then I'm going to add here. There, so that's when you make it a little smaller and you want to add, okay, I really like this so much more. I make sure my bee looks well fed and has plenty of honey and nectar. Okay. Okay, so I think you can kind of see the difference. So if you had made it a little bigger, then all you'd have to do is just keep poking until you get the desired shape. Okay, so let's keep moving on. All right, so the next thing I want to do, I'm going to start adding the black bands in 3 places. So right by the neck, and what I'm going to do is just sort of lightly measure it. So I'm gonna want to go like that, and then it's about this, so I'm going to just pull it here. And to make it look nice and neat, I'm going to make where the fiber meets on the bottom of the bee if I can. So I kind of went over, but it looks like you'll smooth out okay. So there we go. So just poking that in. This is the bottom. Okay. There. Kind of like that. And then we'll do the second one. So it's about this bit long, so I'm just going to pull it. And I'm going to put it, oh, oops, sorry, over the top. And then see if I can make it meet at the bottom so it looks a little neater. Oh, let me see. Okay, so I'm just poking that in. So that was the bottom, and then I'm going to adjust the top like that. Okay. There. That's looking so cute. Okay, and then the very bottom or the end, you can go like this and add it, but you know how I like to pre-felt it, so I'm going to actually do a smaller pre-felt like that. So I just like to rub it and pre-felt it so it's a little easier to work with. So now I've got a little round thing here. Oh, okay. And then I'm gonna put it like, let's see, maybe like that. And you can always just add more, so although I think I'm gonna keep with this one here. Okay. There. So, looking at it, it's not, I would, okay, if I was doing this just by myself, I would probably add a little bit more, like here. Here, I'll just go ahead and do it. Okay, let me just, so now I'm actually going to make it more like a strip, because I'm gonna want to add it up here, because it feels like it's not as even. So there, that looks better to me. But I think if I were off camera, I would probably spend a little bit more time getting this even. So the black lines. Okay, so I would add a little bit more here and then try to make it so it's a little more even. Okay, but just so I can show you the process quickly, I'm going to continue. Okay, so let's make the wings. So the wings, you can take a white or whatever color, like pre-felted felt, and just cut it into this shape and then just poke it in. Or I will show you a quick way, one quick way to make it. Okay, that's gonna be maybe too big, so so it depends with the fiber, but this one I think is, I'm gonna pull it off like this so it's a little thinner like that. So I made it thinner. Okay, and I'm gonna use this one. Okay, so I am going to basically fold this in half or to the center, this back to the center like this, and kind of make a little ribbon like that. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of white, and then I'm going to tie it so it's easier to work with. So like that. Wrap, just wrap in the center. It's not very even right now. Okay. And then I'm going to secure it like that. Oh, sorry. Going totally off screen somewhere else. Okay. And you can see it's pretty cute already. So if you like fluffier wings, you can just add this on just like that. Sorry, off the screen I go again. Okay, yeah, you can do that. Or I am going to make it a little more shaped. So I'm gonna look at this and split it like here and here. So I'm gonna have 4 wings here and here, like that. And then I am going to sort of felt it. So got a little piece of black here, sorry. Got black fiber stuck in there, so I'm just moving it. I'm just pulling it out. So. Okay, so I'm going to just poke and shape. And you can always add a little more wool to shape it if it's not coming to the shape you want. Okay, making sure I'm still in the camera view. Okay, so there we go right here, and then I'm gonna make the bottom one like that. So I'm just poking and shaping as I poke. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same on this side. Okay, I think you can see it, yeah. Poke, 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 poke. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I got 3 of the 4, so now you can see this is still fluffy. And I'm not like going super deep because otherwise it'll be really hard to get it off the phone. So I'm just doing a quick short tab, tap in like that, just to kind of shape it. Okay, so it looks like this so far. Move my needle, and I'm going to gently sort of pull it off like that. Ta-da! Oh, that looks so cute. Okay, so I'm super happy with this. So what I'm going to do next, got my little bee here, I'm going to put it right here. And then where you tied it, okay, that's going to be a little thick. So you're going to actually poke right next to it. Just so, I mean, you can poke directly on it too, but if the knot is super big, it might be a little harder to felt it in. So I usually like to felt around it. Yeah, you can totally see it. Like that. And you can, yeah, see how it's a little more resistant. So it's gonna probably stay much better if you poke right next to it. So I'm just gonna show you what that looks, oopsie, sorry, looks like. See how I just went around and poked, actually burn my needle, poked around here. That way you're not forcing your needle, as well as like, you know, this is already a little bit knotted, so it's a little harder to poke in anyway. So that, but see how that should stay, yeah. Okay, and then you can lift the wing up. This is actually staying nicely. If it wasn't staying, you can actually poke in from this direction to sort of push it this way, but this is staying just fine. So I'm gonna leave it like that. So this is what we have so far. I'm so happy. Okay, and then let's do the face. So this is the face side, and it's a little, let me see if I can smooth it out a little bit. So you can smooth it out or just add another like little piece of wool that's smooth. Actually, this is smoothing, smooth. Is that even a word? It is getting nice and smooth, and I am happy with that. So I am going to continue with this. So I'm going to do the eyes, and so you just need to take like a tiny little pinch, and then I'm gonna split this tiny little pinch, okay, and roll it into a tiny little ball. If I can do that. Okay. And then I'm gonna see if it's close in size. Okay, so one's a little bigger. So I'm gonna do, let me just put that down, hope it doesn't fly away. I'm gonna try again and see if I can make two matching eyeballs, size-wise. Oh, these are too tiny, I think. Oh, actually, okay, let me see. Okay, so today my eyeball size is not coming too good. Okay, so I'm gonna try, let's see, I'm just trying a couple. And then I'll see which two. Oh, actually, these two feel really good. Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay, so this was my third try. These eyes just matched up, and I like the size exactly. I've got all these other little ones that I'm just not going to use. I'm just going to throw it over here. And, okay, I am actually going to use a finer gauge needle to poke it in because it's a tiny piece, and sometimes it's easier to use a finer needle. So this should be a 40 gauge, probably the same star. Okay, and I will show you in a minute, but you just poke it in really carefully. And these eyes came in maybe a little on the smaller side. And again, you can make your eyes however size you want, but these are a little on the small size. So I'm not going to put the white reflection in like I usually like to do. Okay, so here are the eyes. So if the eyes were a little bit bigger, like maybe this one, you can just take a tiny bit of white and put it at the top for reflection. I'm going to skip that for today. And then I'm going to make a big smiley face. So now I'm taking a little piece of black, and I want it more like a string. So I'm just doing that. There we go. It's gonna be too long. I'm gonna break, oops, there you go. I'm gonna break that. I'm gonna fold it. I'm folding it over. I'm gonna roll again. And then let me see. I'm gonna have to look at it. Okay. So let me just see how it goes real quick and then I'll show you. Okay, so that looks okay, I think. It's like every time, like, their faces come out differently. Okay, so this is a weird little trick that I sometimes use, but you see how this is like loose? Okay, so you can actually sort of like, it's hard to show, but you can sort of wrap it around your needle and then poke it in. So let me see if I can do it if I'm looking at it. So kind of wrapping it in and then poking there. And see how I was able to just get it in? Okay. There we go. So now I've got a little smiley face, and then we're going to do the two tiny pink cheeks to make it extra cute. So I'm just getting a little bit of pink, rolling, and then see, then at the end, poking it in. There! Yay! So that's your little bee. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye now.